This is like a freaking therapy session. What's up, bookworms? This is Dani Reads, and today I'm bringing you my worst books of 2017. Now, I know yesterday you saw the best. Now I gotta show you the worst. So most of these books I don't own, thankfully, so you'll be just seeing pictures of them right here. Let's just get into the books that I just didn't like in 2017. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail on why I didn't like these. I'm gonna give like little snippets just so you guys know why I thought it wasn't that good. But I'm not gonna go into like mega detail about any of these. If you do want a little bit longer of an explanation, comment down below. I will gladly type out an explanation on why I don't like the certain books. Like if it's something that you like and I didn't, and that's another disclaimer. If you like this book and I just didn't, let's still be friends. Like I feel like we should just be able to have a difference of opinion. There's probably books out there that you don't like that I like. So let's just all love each other. Well, let's get into the books. So the first book is Counting by Sevens. I did not like this book whatsoever. I felt like the ending was just so random and like so bad. So bad. If you don't know, this book is about a girl with autism, I believe, and it's like from her perspective, and her parents get murdered. That's not a spoiler, I think it's on the back. And then like her world gets like flipped upside down and she has to like go and try and figure out where to live and all this stuff, and she's young. But it was like none of it really made sense. None of it was anything by any standards realistic. I just didn't like it. The next book is We All Looked Up, and I honestly just don't remember anything about this book. I think it's about like a meteor heading towards Earth or something, but that's all I got. And honestly, it obviously wasn't that good because I don't remember anything. So that's why that's on my list. The next book is Every Exquisite Thing by Matthew Quick. And this one, I didn't know how to feel about it when I finished it. It has been like 11 months, 10 or 11 months since I've read this book. I still don't know how to feel about it. It was just really weird. I feel like I am not a Matthew Quick fan. I have read 3 of his books and have not really been a fan of any of them. And one of them was Silver Linings Playbook, and I love the movie, which I know you can't compare the two, but I love the movies. That's why I wanted to read the book, and then I read the book and I was just like really disappointed. So, and I also read Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock, and then Every Exquisite Thing, and it's just, I just don't think that he's an author for me. But yeah, I just finished this book not knowing what to feel. I was kind of like, what the just happened kind of thing. So that's why, I mean, the books on this list might not be like the worst in the world, but they're obviously on my list for a reason. It's not always because I hated them. It could just be, it's the worst because I didn't know how I felt. And to my opinion, books should make you feel something. So that's why it's on my list. This next book is going to be pretty controversial. So I'm just gonna spill the tea a little bit. The next book is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Hated this book. Oh my god. And so I read it and I'm like, there's no way. I was like, this had to have gotten bad reviews. This had to. And I'm watching people's YouTube videos and everyone is raving about it. And I'm like, okay. And I totally respect people who liked it. And there's actually a lot of my favorite booktubers, it's one of their favorite books. Not for me. No, not for me. So I didn't like it. I didn't like how, literally in the synopsis, it talks about how they find this girl dead and you're gonna find out why. And then 90% of the story isn't even about her. So the whole time I'm like, I just want to know what happened to this girl. Like, why did she die? And So yeah, that's number one why I didn't like it, but there was a lot of like, I didn't like any of the characters. I felt like none of the characters were likable, and I don't know if she wrote them purposefully to be like that, but none of them were likable at all. And yeah, I just, not a fan. The next book that I didn't like in 2017 was Atlantia by Ali Kandi, I believe. She also wrote the Matched trilogy, which I should have learned my lesson because I didn't like the Matched trilogy, and I heard that Atlantia wasn't that good. A lot of people were saying it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna read it anyway, and I did, and I didn't like it. So thank you, internet, for telling me not to read it, and I did anyways. But she's just not an author that I'm ever gonna read again. This next book I actually own a copy of, and if you watched my December wrap-up, you'll know that I'm super upset that I own this. And that is Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten. I hate this book. I asked one of my friends if I should do a full review, like a full spoiler review on this, and she told me I should because I had a lot of feelings, but it's not my MO to sit here and bash a book a ton. I'm just gonna say I really don't like it. The story just didn't make sense. I went into this thinking it was gonna be one thing and it was something else, and that's why I didn't like it. There were a lot of characters I didn't like, and I could say a lot about all of them, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm biting my tongue. I didn't like this book, and I'm just really upset that I own it, only because this is probably like my least favorite book of 2017 by far. Like, between this one and Everything I Never Told You, like, those are my my top two of the bottom, like. But yeah, I just really didn't like this book. But I'm not gonna sit here and totally bash I'm not gonna bash this book. I'm not gonna get myself worked up over it. It's a book, I read it, it's time to move on, and that's how I feel about Everything I Never Told You as well. It's probably not an author for me. I'm not gonna probably read any of her other stuff, and I'm just letting it go. The next book that I did not like in 2017 is actually a book I was actually really surprised I didn't like, because I have loved his other romance-y, like contemporary kind of books, and that is First Love by James Patterson. It was fine. I feel like if I read this when I was 15, this would probably be a 5-star read for me. I'm not even gonna lie. But this book kind of just jumps in the middle of something, and it doesn't explain the relationship between the two main characters until like way later on. And I feel like if they just explained it in the beginning and went on with the story like that, it would have made it way better. I know for some books, information needs to be held off, but with this, it could have benefited just from being being told right off the bat. But that's pretty much the only problem I had with it. It just wasn't my favorite. I think I was just extra disappointed because it was James Patterson, and I've always had good luck with his books in the past. But, you know, what are you gonna do? I got this at the library for like a penny, so. The next book that I didn't like in 2017 is Juvie, and I believe I talked about this in a wrap-up. I don't remember what month it was. I will iCard it if I figure it out. But I didn't like this book. I felt like it was very mild. It didn't really, so this book is about this girl who takes a fall for a crime for her sister, because if her sister admitted to it, she would be going to jail for a really long time. And so she took the plea bargain and thought she was just gonna get community service. Well, it turns out she got sent to juvie. Or she had to spend 6 months in juvie, which 6 months, I mean, for like that age though, I think she was like 16, is a kind of a big deal, but it's only 6 months of your life. But they expected her to just get probation since she had a clean slate, but they kind of wanted to teach her a lesson and send her to juvie. It was the most mild book ever. She gets to juvie and nothing really happens to her. She just kind of lives her life in juvie and then it ends. And I was just really unimpressed with it. I was actually really excited that it was gonna like get good, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna show people what happens in juvie, and it just didn't happen. And the next book is Birthmarks. I rated this a 1 star, and I stand by that. I could not stand that book. I don't really remember a lot about it. I just remember it not really making any sense. I didn't like it. I believe it was a dystopian. I didn't like it. And the last book that I did not like in 2017, which I was surprised about and kind of disappointed in, and that is Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I didn't like this book. I didn't really care what happened to these characters. I figured it out really far in advance what happened, so I was kind of like just pretty much listening to this on audiobook, kind of going for the ride, and I was like, okay, yeah, didn't care for this at all, saw it all coming. Alright, and those are all the books that are on my worst list of 2017. Like I said, not all of them were on the list because I hated them. Some were because they were just forgettable, some of them because there's certain things in the plot just rubbed me the wrong way. And yeah, so, and like I said, please don't take offense if it's one of the books that you love. Let's just be friends, because I will support you in everything that you love, even if I don't. So let's just stick with that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below with what if you had like a #1 least favorite book of the year. I'd really be interested to know what those are. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Keep reading, keep smiling. Bye guys.